Um, Today was a pretty crazy day. Dion, one of my sponsees, is getting married tomorrow, and we drove out to Forest Hill for his wedding rehearsal today. I'm officiating, and so I had to be out there to help run the service stuff and get everybody kind of situated for what has to happen for tomorrow and everything like that. And it was a pretty good day getting to see everyone, and then came time for the rehearsal dinner, and got to throw down some more of my skills. You know what I mean? Dion came to me and said the meat ain't cooked, so I had to jump on the Traeger and throw down some tri-tip, which is what I do. I told him, I said, man, I got this, bro. It's good. Like, you're in good hands with me. All right, you're in good hands when it comes to meat, and it's me. So it was an interesting thing. And then this morning I woke up and was not feeling the workout this morning at 3 o'clock, right? And it was probably the first day I've had where I was like, just not feeling it. And it's not because I didn't get enough sleep, because I've been living off of 2.5 to 3 hours for the last week or so. And I woke up I was dreading, right? But it was crazy because I've been telling you guys, like, my wife played me that Lead Me song, and every day when I start my workouts, whatever it is, whether it be at the gym or whether it be in the garage or running or walking or whatever, I play that song first, right? And so, like, when I'm in that space of like not wanting to get up and do what I got to do, that song always comes in my head, right? And that's why, like, we live by the mantra: read to memorize, memorize to internalize, internalize to apply it, right? Everything that I do with the intention of memorization. Consistency, right? Like, I want it to be a part of my brain, part of my memory. So I'm listening to it to memorize it. I memorize it to internalize it. So when I'm sitting there with a freaking lyric of like "Lead Me," right, just keeps playing in my head, and I'm just like, gotta go, right? And then I get up and I go to the gym, right? I do what I do, and felt good to be there, right? Once I finally got there and started working out, and but I didn't want to be there for nothing. And prior to going, right? And I get there, I work out, I come home, and the day starts, right? Got to get guys to work, got to do some things before I take off to Forest Hill. So, we get it done, and all I can think about as I'm driving to Forest Hill is the quote that I put on Facebook today, which was set the standard and execute, right? I've set a standard for my life, right? Do what I say, and the standard is high, right? I have to get to 10% body fat, and I'm not failing. And there's these non-negotiables that I put in play that I have to do daily, and so I've set the standard of what I want my life to look like, right? I'm gonna say that, what I want my wife to look at, what I want my life to look like. And it's not so different, my life itself in general, but I'm different, and I have to execute, right? And I remember you used to always say, shoot for the stars, land on the moon. And for me right now, like, what that is doing, it's allowing for failure, right? Because I'm shooting for the stars, and if I don't hit the stars, then it's okay where I land, because it's somewhere different than where I started from. And I don't want that to be my train of thought, because I could have really took the day off today and been like, well, I'm doing really good, so one day off isn't that bad. And I don't want that to be. If I'm gonna shoot for the stars, I want to land on the stars. I want that to be my barometer of how I'm doing, right? It's not somewhere different than where I'm at today. I want my standard to be the standard that I set, right? Like Harvard, Yale, Princeton, they all have a standard of what they expect their incoming freshmen to be, right? And what the expectation they expect their graduates to have, and so, like, there's a notoriety, there's a reputation that goes with graduating from Stanford or Harvard or Yale or any of them real top-notch schools, right? They don't go, oh, well, you tried and you failed, but it's okay because you at least tried to go there. And instead of graduating from Hanford, you graduated from San Jose State. No, like, you don't shoot for the stars and land on the moon. It's not. I mean, for a lot of people, that's acceptable, right? and for them, I'm glad that works. But I don't want that to be my story, right? I don't want it to be sufficient for me to settle for, if I can't get something, if it's better than where I was, then it's good enough. My wife didn't tolerate that when she married me, right? Like, she didn't say, oh, well, you told me you'd be this kind of husband, and you're not working out that well, but it's better than where you were, so I guess it's okay. No, she has a standard too, right? Everybody in my life, my expectation is that they're gonna have standards also. My mentor, Lambert, has a standard of what he expects from the people who are underneath him that work for him, and the quality of work they're gonna bring to the table. And so, like, I'm surrounded by people who set standards for themselves and for everybody around them. And I want to be of that breed, right? I want to be of the breed that I can hold myself to a particular standard and expect the people around me to uphold that same standard for themselves. And not that, oh, just because we tried and we failed, but it's better than where we were, is sufficient. No, like, we have to get out of that mindset, right? Like, it's not okay for a participation award if we're going for to be the best, and we need to be the best. And if we're not the best yet, then we keep trying, we keep working at it until we get to be the best. And that's what what's what I meant by when I said set the standard, right? Set the standard for whatever it is that we want it to be. Because as I think about things like goals that I've set in the past that I didn't achieve, right? Well, I didn't achieve because I was a loser, I was a bum, I wasn't really willing to work as hard as necessary to get where I wanted to go. But if I got anywhere one step further than where I was when I started, it was okay because I was a little bit further, and that doesn't allow for success. I remember the other day I was having a discussion with one of the guys that I work with, and he was saying, you can't be 100% every day, right? But as long as you go through the motions and do what you do, that's sufficient. And I was like, let me push back on it. He goes, I knew you would, right? Yeah, I'm gonna push back because I have to be 100%, right? Every day. Now, yes, I may not be perfect and I may not execute at that standard, but I need to give everything that I got, not just go through the motions, not just whatever I can muster. No, I need to give everything that I got in that moment to what I'm trying to do, right? I need to work very hard to reach my standard. And because if I don't hold me to it, then who's going to, right? If I don't hold me to it, then what becomes of me when people are watching and setting the standards for themselves, right? How can I ever expect my kids to hold themselves to a higher standard if I don't fully do it? And so we have to set the standard and then execute it. Execute, that's key. Executing, because the only reason why I don't achieve the things that I say I will or I want to is because I don't do it, right? I don't work as hard as necessary to get where I'm trying to go. It's not like, and I remember from being a little kid, right? I've never set low standards, right? It's never been, oh, I just want to get married one day. No, like, or I just want to, graduate high school. Like, no. Like, I want to be the best at everything that I do. You know what I mean? I remember when I was playing ball in college, my coach called me and said, don't even worry about making your class schedule. I will take care of that for you, right? Like, I was that guy. I was that guy where coaches would fix grades and make things happen so that I could get where I needed to go. And my college, the school that recruited me to come there was like, don't worry about your class schedule. We will have it fixed for you when you get here on the first day. You just come to my office and I'll hand you your schedule. And I did, right? I was like, cool. And I showed up. He handed me a class schedule with like maybe English and like college math, and the rest was like racquetball, football, underwater basket weaving, like some stupid classes, right? What do? I go and change the classes. I'm like, that's not what I want for myself. I went and put chemistry on there, political science, calculus, like all these hard classes. Well, what ends up happening? I got ineligible, right? Because I can't do all the work and practice and play at the level that I want to, because I didn't have the desire or the willingness to really put forth that effort. But in my mind, I was willing to gamble and say, no, I want these classes because the ones that he gave me are not good enough. And I made a fool of myself. But my point is that setting high standards has always been my reality. Always. I always thought higher of myself than maybe that I was able to achieve, right? But today I don't believe that. Today I believe that anything is possible if I put my mind to it. My sponsor told me when I got clean, you can have whatever you want. He said, you can be whatever you want. You just have to do the work necessary to get there. You just have to do the work. What's the work, right? What's the work that I have to do to achieve the things that I want to achieve? Now, some of you might be sitting there going, well, then I'll just set low standards. And if that's how you want to function, if that's how you want to operate and get down, that's good for you. I'm happy, right? Like if low standards is what you want, by all means, go for it. But for me, it's not sufficient, right? I don't want low standards for me, for my kids, for my grandkids, for my wife, for my family. No, nobody, right? I don't want just good enough for anyone that I love. I want everyone to work to achieve, to be the best that they possibly can be, right? And that's why the whole mantra of everything that I'm doing here in this 180 days here is becoming the man that I needed in my life, right? Like that's become the man that I would be proud of, right? Become the man that I need to be, that God created me to be, and then give that back to the world. You don't get that by settling and just doing just good enough, right? Landing on the moon instead of the stars. No. If we shoot the goal for the stars, we're landing on the stars. We're landing on the stars. And anything short of that is not good enough. It's not. It's not. Because that's not the goal that I set. You know what I mean? Because tomorrow and the day after that, we're going to talk about other things like people are watching. People are depending on you, right? Like there's people depending on me. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. And that's why it's necessary. If I tell you I'm going to land on the stars, that I land on the stars. It's necessary. It has to happen. There's no other ways around it. There's no if, ands, or buts. It's going to happen. So I hope you're willing to gamble on yourself enough to shoot for the stars and land on them, right? Shoot for the stars, man. Take your wildest dreams and your wildest hopes and desires, the things that you want for you, and shoot for them, no matter how crazy, no matter how far they might sound. Somebody told me a long time ago, if your goals don't scare you, they're not good enough. If they don't scare you, if you don't think that there's a possibility that you might fail, not because you're weak, but because they're so extravagant, they're not big enough. Dream big, right? Dream big. 10% in 6 months at 43 years old, starting at 30% body fat is a huge goal. Huge. It's not like, oh, I'm going to roll over and fast for 5 days and I'm going to hit it. No, this is like there's work that is required to get there, right? There's monitoring, there's dieting, there's working out, there's all these things that go into that. We're going to do it. And so I just want to tell everybody, man, set your standards and set them high. Set them far. Set them crazy enough where people are like, that's never going to happen. You're not going to do that. You're going to fail. All right. Well, then challenge them. Watch you. Say, watch me. Watch me. Watch me. Because I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? And so I don't know if anybody's told you today, but God loves you and so do I. I hope you have a great day and God bless you.